Hi, good morning. It's Ash here to remind you that everything you need is inside of you and you are capable of coming up with all the answers you need to move forward. Uh, Not here to say anything that hasn't already been said, just saying it again, so maybe this time we'll hear it. Also, it helps me to teach it, helps me to say it, it helps me to practice it. So, thank you for being here. Let me remind you, please, that if you are a minor and you're watching this, I ask you please to practice discernment with what I'm saying. Uh, just being younger, there are things you may not have experienced yet, so it may not make sense. Or you may, and I could be presuming. So, uh, in general, I ask you to practice discernment. If what I'm saying doesn't apply to you, so be it. If it doesn't resonate or you don't like it or it doesn't appeal to you, goodbye. It's all good. I hope you're doing well. I hope that you're finding peace within the chaos and the madness. I hope that you are finding ways to shine your light. I would love to know how you're finding ways to shine your light if you'd like to share with me. I would like to know how you're finding ways to change how you do things. What paradigms within yourself have occurred to you to stop? Stop doing things just because you've been doing them forever. Belief systems that no longer make sense. Maybe belief systems that were given to you instead of you creating. What elements of your belief system have changed or grown now that you have more information? I would love to hear about it if you would love to share. I want to talk a little bit about a couple woo-woo things. So this concept of past lives, actually not being past lives, because all of our lives, if you look at this time concept, which is one, that time doesn't work like this, like this, like we have been taught it does, or we believe it does, that time is actually a grid. It is all happening all at the same time. So past lives and future lives are not really as such as they are concurrent lives. So that's an idea that I'd heard several times, and now for whatever reason I'm like, oh yeah, that's happening. That makes sense. So as a person who practices energy work, as a person who practices past life observation, really, it with that new construct lighting up my brain, it occurred to me, oh, that means I can go to the other lives and help heal them. Because when we do past life work, typically or concurrent life work, I'm going to change that language. When we're doing concurrent life work, what we're doing is looking at the same issue. What was the issue that we're having then that we're having now? How does it correlate? What was happening? And up until realizing this, I thought that the observation of the concurrent life was it. But now I'm realizing, oh, we can actually affect it. And that, I don't think that means I just heard the voice in my head go, but doesn't that fuck everything up? No. No, that's the purpose of it, is to heal that karma. Oh, that reminds me. If you still believe that karma is you'll get yours because you did something to me, that is inaccurate. Karma is actually your life lessons that you need to learn. Your consequences for not having learned them. FYI. So, I'll give an example. Actually, the thing that came to me, and I brought this up before, is so I enjoy that concept of manifestation. I believe we're doing it all the time, whether we're conscious of it or not. Thereby, it is in your best interest to be conscious of it. And let's say, for instance, hypothetically, that I'm a person that would enjoy manifesting a butt ton of money for no reason other than I want it. Because to me it represents freedom, among other things. I happen to know of a concurrent life where I'm going to, because it doesn't like write it out for you, this is what's happening, based on what I know of history, which is not much, I'll be honest. I was a man, I was in a castle, I'm going to say French Revolution, and he was looking out the window. He was alone. He was looking out the window at a woman who was surrounded by, I'm going to say, ladies of the court. And so what came to me was they loved each other. but because of their station and their position, they couldn't be together. So regardless of the amount of money they had, the amount of prestige, the amount of elitism, their lack of freedom prevented them from being together. So as a person in this moment who believes money is freedom and observing that moment in time which money was not freedom, it occurred to me, what if I go and talk to him? What if I imagine, and please remember, imagination is all it's about. When it's in your imagination, that's absolute fact. That's why it's there. We can get into that. There are plenty of people who are talking about that. If you doubt that idea, then question, please, why you have an imagination. So that said, I sat down, I got grounded, I went back, and I said, hey man, I have a question for you. Have you ever actually said out loud to your parents or to your court or whomever is in charge of your situation, have you ever actually said, this is what I want? And is it not possible for me to do this? Have you ever directly addressed the fear of, say, maybe you were concerned that because of her station, maybe she's still lesser than, I don't know, but have you ever said it? Or do you just sit in this room pining and longing and assuming? And in my imagination, they took that to heart. They had the conversation with their parents or whomever, learned that they were not opposed to changing that paradigm because they thought it was silly too. And in the end, he and the woman got to be together. And they said thank you. And I saw a vision. Instead of her being surrounded and protected, if you will, and him being alone, it was almost like a family reunion picture, like them standing, or maybe a wedding picture, with all the people there to support them. And yes, it's literally that simple. It's also exciting to think about because I've certainly had other concurrent life. Maybe we don't call them regressions anymore. We call them progressions. Concurrent life progression, where they need some help for sure. I had one where I was a child in a slave situation, stung by many bees, and died of anaphylactic shock because my family wasn't allowed to attend to me. So I went to that one. I could probably do better, but I said stay away from bees. And she listened. We'll see about that. I had one, I'm going to say it was off planet, because I was a creature that I couldn't quite identify. Like big for a reptile, if you will, but reptilian in nature, sort of dragony, sort of. And our property, our land was being invaded by what I'll call soldiers. From my mindset, they look like people, men. And my friend, we thought we were safe, and then my friend got intentionally squashed, which I think is in line with my inherent distrust of adults. I haven't gone back to that one yet to talk to them, I don't remember. So yeah, that's a fun exercise. If you want to learn how to do that, it's actually quite simple. I would be happy to direct you to people who teach it. I don't teach it. So, yeah, that's fun. I'm going to get into that more and do some mad healing. With that in mind, another thought occurred to me this week, which was so kind of in line with the self-righteous indignation issue, which is people operating from that filter, or just angry and hostile and yelling and screaming and not listening and not allowing other people's thought processes or belief systems to be heard. Instead of being mad about it, because even though I can see it for what it is, I still find myself getting affected by it and mad about it. And so there's an individual in my life who I've always said, I wish they would quit pushing their childhood trauma onto me as if I had something to do with it, which I didn't. And I've said that from a place of anger. And it occurred to me, what would happen if I said, I wish that they would heal their childhood trauma? I hope for them that they can heal their childhood trauma. I ask that they have a come to Jesus, if you will, and realize that they need to handle and heal their childhood trauma instead of pushing it onto other people. That feels so much better. And again, it takes it off of me because it's not my fault. It's not my responsibility. But as an adult, as a person who practices, it is my responsibility to look at that differently so that I can heal that element of it. And it makes it so much easier. So I'm glad that came to me. I was going to talk about, so this was an interesting concurrent life moment, my most recent one, which actually just, while in meditation, just showed up. Usually there's a little bit of a process that I go through to get there. This one just was like, nope, we're doing this. And so it looked like this. My consciousness on earth, growing past earth, growing, to the point where I could see the earth as a pebble on a beach littered with other earths, other planets, other just, if you can imagine pebbles on a beach each one representing a world. And as this humongous creature, it occurred to me I could step on it. I could end everything just with a... And I almost did it, but I opted not to. And I turned around and went through like a light door and just exited into, I want to say oblivion, but to someplace else. Different timeline, different, yeah, I don't know. That part didn't show me. But it does remind me that this isn't the only. If you've never heard this before, it is theorized that this is actually like the 8th time Earth has happened. There is information out there, you can find it, about how that works. So again, time isn't what we think it is. Time isn't what we've been told it is. Time isn't what we assume it is. Life isn't what we assume it is. Which is exciting, also scary, but also gives you empowerment to unravel the mystery for yourself. I find that the most fun thing to do in life, honestly. I think that's it. Yeah. That's it for today. Thank you so much. I'm going to share my daily prayer with you. I've been having a lot of conversations with myself. Actually, that's what started this whole thing, was conversations with myself. And man, she is just right there. If I haven't done this before, I don't remember. Feel free to use it if you feel like it will help you. And it goes like this. God, Goddess, Guide, Guard, Protectors, Angels, Ancestors, Ascended Masters, and myself. Please be with me all day in all ways. Please intervene if you deem it necessary. Please give me the protection I need, and any of these words, whatever you need. Please give me the protection I need for the day. Please give me the energy I need for the day. Please give me the clarity I need for the day. Please give me the humor I need for the day. Please give me the empathy I need for the day. Please give me the grounding I need for the day. Please help me be receptive to your guidance. Thank you. And may you have a most wonderful day. Thank you so much.